in the pursuit of truth and common sense in an unbelievable world. You're listening to the Right Mind podcast with your host, Todd Schowalter.
Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Schowalter, and welcome to Right Mind. Today, my guest is James Bailey. He's an actor and he's an author, and he's also friends with Mel Brooks, and he's got a new book out, The Manic. I'm going to let him actually tell you what the title is, but it has OCD in it, so it's got to be good.
Diary.
What?
Okay. The Diary of a Manic OCD Bookseller.
Wow, that's quite a mouthful you've got there.
Self-explanatory, by the way.
Yes. Okay. Now, are you a manic?
Yes. I wrote the freaking book.
You wrote. I like you already, James. Okay. All right. So
laughing on the outside, I'm crying on the inside. That's
all right. Well, hey, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Okay. So now your book, okay. Now, do you suffer from OCD? Are you manic? And you're also a book. I mean, how does the manic come about? Go ahead.
Well, what happened is, my first book was almost optioned for a movie. Adam Sandler almost did the book, my first book, Man Interrupted.
Okay.
So this book kind of tells how I was living in my car, and I would catch a bus from one bookstore to another, and I wouldn't leave the store until I talked somebody into buying the book. You know?
Okay. Right.
So yeah, then I get on the bus, go to the bookstore, and even if they had, Mel would tell me, she said, Jim, you got to leave at least one or two books on the shelf so that, it's good for your ego. And I'd leave the store, but my OCD, manic, whatever, I would go back in the store, sell all of them and leave. I couldn't help myself.
So, wait a minute. All right. So you actually went into the store and just placed the books there, and they were on sale.
No, they were part of the store.
Oh, they were part of the store.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the store was making money. I wasn't really making any money, but it was, I just couldn't help myself.
Okay. Okay. So now that's the first book, right? Yeah. So now you've got the second book.
This is my third book. Yeah.
Oh, this is your third book. Yeah. Okay. So they'll tell me a little bit about it. I mean, what?
Well, what happened is this kind of defines how I made the first book a bestseller. I got a movie option. I was living in my car, and I would go to Malibu and catch the bus, and people thought I was living there because whenever the bus come to pick me up, I would make sure nobody's watching. I'd go get on the bus. Okay. But anyway, so I met Bob Dylan, I met Pierce Brosnan, all these famous people bought my book at the bookstore there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And had you placed the books in the bookstore?
No. This is all of the store, but I sold so many books. The owner of the store was like, shit, this guy's making money for me. Let him do whatever he wants.
Oh, okay.
Carte blanche,
Yeah. All right. So you were living in your car at this point?
Yes. Though? So I'm still living in my car, and so I'm dealing with the street people as well as the famous people. So
right. Okay.
One day I'm talking to Pierce Brosnan or Bob Dylan, who bought my book, and next day I'm talking to the bearded lesbian who's living on the street.
The bearded lesbian.
Yeah, who became friends with me.
Well, that's.
So I go from one extreme to the other, if you get what I'm saying.
Right now, are you sure that the bearded lesbian wasn't actually Pierce Brosnan? I mean, are you?
No, Pierce is a little better looking.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, all right, I got you there. So you're living. We're having a good time, aren't you?
You got a twisted sense of personality like me, I can tell.
Oh my gosh, this is fun. I'm having a good time. All right, so this is the first, but you're living in your car. When did you move on out of the car? I mean, I assume you're not still in your car.
Even more bizarre is I like living in the car.
You like what kind of car was it?
It's even more bizarre,
Right. What kind of car was it?
Well, it was a van. Well, which time?
Right.
Which car?
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh. I tell you what, if this is how you go about selling your books, I want to buy one. I mean, because they obviously make you happy, and that's good. Which goes back. Now you mentioned this latest book. Okay. Right. You say that Mel Brooks has a blurb on the back or anything. Yeah. And your friends, along with Pierce Brosnan and all these other guys, and the bearded lesbian, you're friends with Mel Brooks. What's that all about? I mean, when did you become friends? Are you guys still friends?
Oh yeah, I talked to Mel a couple days ago.
Really? Okay.
Mel loves me because I'm such a hard worker. I mean, I go to the beach, I give out cards all day. I can't be stopped. He loves that kind of hard work.
Right. Well,
So
I love Mel Brooks. I mean, he's probably one of my favorites. Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, the comedy and the stuff that he's done are legendary.
Oh yeah.
And what I love it, you can't do that kind of stuff anymore. And
No.
it's a shame. I mean, I
Yeah,
do,
no.
and everybody gets mad at me, but it's a shame you can't do
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff.
that PC crap, you know. You
Oh
can't
yeah,
say
the
anything.
PC crap. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Now, is your book, is that in the same, or books, because you've had 3, are those in the same, vein or same theme? Are they like Mel Brooks material?
Well,
I mean,
I have a twisted sense of humor, so I find humor in
I
any.
can tell. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
good. Right.
So here's a good story from
Yes.
this new.
Okay.
There was a guy, a homeless guy, walking around with a white kimono, right?
Right.
And he had a briefcase and it had a handcuff to his arm, the briefcase,
and
and he's homeless. So
the homeless guy. I can only imagine what was in the briefcase. Right.
Well, I'm getting to that.
I'm getting to that. Okay.
I thought I got to know what's in that freaking briefcase. So
Right.
I walk up to the guy. Now I know the homeless street people. I know how they think. So I asked him about that briefcase. He said, "No, it's none of your business." And I said, "Oh, come on, And I said, "Wait a minute. What if I buy you a hamburger, French fries, and a big drink?
Yeah.
Then will you show me?" Yes. Of course, yeah.
Okay. So I assume you buy. Are you okay, James?
Well,
Okay.
I showed him the
Okay.
little manicure. Sorry.
No. Yeah. Go ahead.
He opened up the briefcase. Now I'm thinking maybe there's a bomb in there.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah,
The guy's
sure. Of
insane.
course.
He's
Homeless
walking
guys
around.
with bombs. That's a big thing.
Well,
Yeah.
you never know. And he's got
Right.
that white kimono. It has no dirt on it. I can't figure out how he kept
Okay.
it so
Sure.
clean.
That's suspicious.
I
Okay.
asked him that too, and he said you got mad at me. But anyway, he opens up the briefcase.
Right.
There's 3 pieces of paper, and I'm thinking, what the hell's that all about? He picks it up. Oh, Jim or James, this is my record contract. I go, what? He said, whenever I meet a music producer, I got the contract ready to sign.
No. So he brings his own contracts. Got it. Okay. Now, all right. So then, I mean, that's what it was? Just the 3 contracts? I mean,
Yeah, he had a meeting.
well, that's great. You ought to do that with your books.
Then he sang with me. He sang. And he was so bad. I thought,
he was really bad. Okay.
I said, maybe you should go down to the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica and practice your talent.
Like down on the pier. Well,
down in that area. Yeah. He says,
sure.
No, James, I'm too good for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has 3 record contracts ready to go. He just needs a signature.
So anyway, that's my book. Has a lot of these types of interesting.
A lot of anecdotes, a lot of different
So I went
life
from Pierce
experience.
Bronson to the white kimono kid. That's
well, okay. So you just bumped into Pierce Bronson. I mean, former 007. I mean, did you have a conversation or what?
Yeah,
you
actually
you bought your book. Okay.
I met him in the bookstore in Malibu, and he was buying other books.
Okay.
And I said, "Hey, you got to buy my book." And what's he going to say? No, he'd be embarrassed, right? In the bookstore.
Well, sure. Right.
He's a very nice man. He bought the book and he asked me if I'm working on any other book, really. So I had a lot of really nice encounters with different types of people.
Got it. Okay. Now you're also an actor, though. I mean,
Right.
you've done some. You were on Chips, wasn't that it?
Yes.
And you were on a film that you did back. What I can't. What was the name? It was like one.
Pond to Heart was one of the last.
Right. Okay. And you've worked on several different projects, television and film. Are you still doing any acting work?
Well, what it is, I've written a screenplay that's produced. Of course, everybody's a producer these days.
Sure.
He really likes it. He wants to do it. And I said, well, the reason I'm going to sell it to you or whatever. I want to play one of the main characters. So he said, yeah. So that's called Lone Wolf. That's another project that I'm working on.
Lone Wolf?
Yes.
Okay. What's that about? Is it comedy?
No, well, yeah, that's my thing, comedy, but it's about this guy.
I could tell.
He's about 18, 17 in high school in North Dakota. He wants to be a writer. And, North Dakota, his dad's a preacher. And so anyway, during graduation, they're calling out their names and he's on a boxcar. So it's a good hook. He's going to discover So
Okay.
that's story.
So what are you're pitching these things? What? And so you're pitching, are you, where are you at? Where are you living right now? Are you,
Well, in Louisiana now, but I go back to LA back and forth.
gotcha. Okay. So you're in touch with people. Well, a lot of stuff is going on in Louisiana now. I mean,
Well, I've tried out for a couple of movies recently in New Orleans because they do quite a few movies there.
yes, they do. They do a lot down there. Yeah. Well, that's nice. So I mean, do you have an agent or how do you go about?
Yeah, I have an agent in New Orleans.
Okay.
And also, Simon & Schuster said I should get my new book to Netflix. So I must have something in that new book. The one we're talking
the new
about.
one. Now, say the title again. The Adventure. It's an OCD Misfit.
No, slow down. The Diary of a Manic OCD Bookseller.
Bookseller. Books.
James Bailey.
We're going to put that on the screen and also in the description, of course, and so people can get a hold of it. Okay, so now when this is your third book. What inspires you to write these books? I mean, do you have a series that you're working on? I mean, are they related to each other? Or are they all independent books?
The second book, Almost Texas, if anybody likes road trip type books, it was about a good-looking guy. He was so handsome, everybody picked him up because usually you see hitchhiker, he looks like dirt, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Hitchhike, so I can say that.
Yeah.
So anyway, he meets a serial killer and stripper. I mean, it's that kind of deal. They're all headed to Roswell, New Mexico for the 50th anniversary of the Roswell crash, which probably never happened, but anyway.
Right. Okay. Well, I like it already.
Yeah, it's a bunch of misfits,
Cool. That's really neat. So, yeah. I mean, and so, I mean, would you be actually along with the acting in it? Obviously, I mean, would you be?
Yeah, I have to have something. Yeah, in it. Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I'm writing now, the acting, because I'm on my last lap in life, more or less.
I don't think so. I think with your sense of humor and laughter, I think you got a lot of miles left in you. Where did you? Okay, so tell me about your background. I mean, where'd you grow up? I mean, how did you get into the business?
Well, I was kind of like default, I had all these crappy jobs. I was no good at them, anything. And I was just drifting around more or less, drinking a lot, getting in fights. And it was in Colorado one day and I'm, just bouncing around. And when I turned about 28, 27, I thought, what the hell? I mean, I got to find some future, I can't just keep doing what I'm doing. And that's I ended up going to acting school in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. What year was this?
I was probably back in the, early 80s or something like
early
that.
80s. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you headed out to LA or into Hollywood. And I mean, so what was that? I mean, what was that like? I mean, did you know anybody or did you just go out there?
No, I didn't know anybody. I was just,
I
actually put a lot of this in my book, but I just wasn't used to the rejection, so I took it to, I'll give you a good example. I tried out for Charlie's Angels for a part. And everybody, the director, everybody said, "Oh, you're great. You blah, blah, blah." And I thought, shit, this is great.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the part. And a few days later, I had.
Well, was it for one of the angels?
No. Yeah, right. The gay angel, right? No.
I say that's bad casting. So
yeah. Well, you have a twisted sense. You remember, my friend.
I do. That's why I'm having so much fun with you. So.
Okay. So anyway, no, I was some bad guy. I wasn't like a permanent guest or anything. Just a really cool bad guy.
Right.
And anyway, I got an audition for some other show and I just kind of pretended like I wanted some water in the Charlie's Angels because they were in the same trailer or the casting places.
Right. Okay.
So I could go from one door to another. I kind of worked my way in there and she, "Oh, James, I'm so sorry. You were perfect for the part, but they wanted a fat guy." It's like, oh. And I just couldn't take that. And I left Hollywood. I thought, this is too much. I can't take the rejection,
Yeah. But you did end up doing some work, though. I mean, I
did. I did do that, but I never got over the hump where you said, "Well, there's that guy,"
Well, I mean, there's still time. I mean, do you think is that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to now. That's my last.
Okay. Well, no, I'm not trying to dwell on Mel Brooks, but I mean, that's an interesting story. So, how did you bump into, or how did you? Okay. How'd you find Mel Brooks, or how did that friendship come about?
Yeah. Okay. Great story here.
Yeah.
Hope people read it because I have a lot of things like this in my book.
Right. We won't give away the secrets or anything.
This is a good one.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm walking around. I used to sneak in Fox Studios all the time.
Did you?
Yeah, they didn't have the stalkers like they do now and all.
Right. You were the original.
Yeah. No, I had a purpose, not women. So I went in, I walked in, I wait for the suits to go in back from lunch, and I'm just joined in with them. And ask them the time or something. So it made me look like I was part of that group,
Right. Yeah, sure.
So I walk in, I'm meeting people and, hustling, walking around This is happening 2, 3, 4 times a week. I'm doing this, right?
Okay.
So anyway, I'm walking and this guy comes up from behind me. He goes, "What the frick are you doing?" And I'm not going to use his language, but
Oh, it's we're rated
okay.
XYZ here, so you can say anything you want.
All right. He said, "What the fuck are you doing? Are you insane?" This is the voice from behind. "Are you insane? Are you fucking insane?" I said, "Well," I turned around. It's Mel.
It's Mel Brooks, right? He was behind you. Really?
Yeah. And he says, "I see you every fucking day. You got the same suit on," which is true. I had a $50 suit from Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
He said, "I see you all the time, and I don't want you to get in trouble. I mean, security is going to notice you eventually, right?"
Yeah. Well, you don't know.
Well,
okay, and that was it. So you met him. I mean, he obviously. I mean, did you hit it off? I mean, did you become?
And that's part 2 of that quick story.
That's part 2. Okay, go ahead.
So he said, "Don't come back." Blah blah blah. I said, "I won't." Blah. When he left, I kept doing what I was doing.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Sure.
Undeterred.
Yeah, you got to.
So next day, true story. I got an audition for some show. I can't even remember what it was, and I had a legitimate pass for Fox.
Right.
So I thought, it's a big studio. I'll never see freaking Mel. I mean, it's huge,
Yeah.
So I'm walking in the studio. Here comes Mel, and there's Rolls Royce, and he looks at me and just shakes his head.
Really? So he remembered you? Okay.
I mean, I'm not an easy guy to forget.
I know. I was going to say that's good, and as an actor, that's a great benefit. So he's noticed you again. So then what happened?
Well, he was frustrated. Well, you could tell the way he was shaking his head. So I ran over there. "Mel, I got a pass. I'm legit." He said, "Well, tuck your fucking shirt."
Tuck your shirt.
And we've been friends ever since. So my madness paid off for Mel,
Oh, I bet. So, okay. And so this was what year were these, the 80s too, then?
Yeah, we're talking a long time ago.
Okay. Have you ever had the opportunity to actually do any work with him? Because it sounds like you kind of got that vibe as Mel Brooks. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
They kind of twisted, like you said, I do. Well, I think you do too. So, I mean, have you had a chance to work with them?
Well, yeah, I tell you, this is another good story.
Yeah.
I started writing. Mel said, "If you write something, then you have some power. You can say, I want to be in the movie." And so I started writing scripts. And
okay.
Mel read my script. He wouldn't read them at first. He says, "Well, unsolicited, all that crap that goes, unsolicited material, you got to get an agent, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
So he wouldn't read it, but finally he said, "Jim, we have a relationship now. I'll read your freaking script." So
okay.
He read my script and he loved the script.
He did.
Yeah. I said, "Well, you're Mel Brooks. Do the freaking movie."
Well, what was the script?
I've written so many, I can't remember.
But Mel liked it. So it must have been something. So it must have been something with you that was politically incorrect, which I guarantee I would like too. What?
Here's what he said to me, which is very good.
Okay.
He said, "Jim, I loved your script, but I do freaking Mel Brooks movies. I don't do Jim Bailey's movies."
Right.
Okay. There you go. So,
all right.
He did send it to other people. Like I think Dolly Parton had a production company. He sent it to her. And, he was trying to help me.
Now you say you talked to him a couple of days ago. What do you just call him up and say, "Hey, Mel, what's going on?" I mean,
I talk to Mel about once every 2 weeks, because he's 95. I don't want to, bother
Is he
him.
Really? He's 95. Okay. Yeah. Wow. He's a legend. God. I mean, and like I said before, the stuff that, Blazing Saddles, I mean, Young Frankenstein, the producers, all that classic stuff when comedy was really comedy and not this watered down vanilla crap. So, I mean, it's
a genius. There's no doubt.
Oh, I know. And it's a shame. Don't you think it's a shame that, we can't just be funny anymore?
No, you have to watch whatever the frick you say,
Well, do you? I mean, do you see? I don't. Okay. And then I get in a lot of trouble and people, I'm telling you, you're going to be canceled. I don't care. I mean, have you been stifled? Because you're an outgoing, funny guy.
Yeah.
I mean, has that stifled you at all?
Well, I've learned since I'm selling books, I have to be careful, especially in California is very,
Yeah, I know. I used to live there. Right.
Yeah. So I try not to, books is the main course. If I have to listen to some bullshit, I'll just nod my head,
Yeah. So, right. So you're not really, you don't seem to be like the woke kind of person.
No. I'm far the other way. But
I'm kidding you.
Well, Larry Hankin, huh? The actor?
Larry's been on the show. Yeah. Larry's been
one of my best friends, actually.
Larry's your best. Well, it's a small world, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Larry, he's a character too. So have you worked with Larry?
Well, we used to meet every once or twice a week because Larry wants to write now. That's his thing.
He is. In fact, I think Larry said he's writing his autobiography.
He did.
You know what? It was my recommendation. So if he steals this, I hope I get a blurb in the book. But I said, just name it Larry Hankin, and he said, that's genius, and so he took my idea. I think he's going to name it after. He's going to use part of his name in the title.
No, he's got the title now. I talked to him a couple of days ago.
Oh, so he decided not to use my idea.
This is a great title, though. He's got.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that's better.
Because he's in a lot of things and people don't.
That was my second idea.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I'm glad he went. I'm glad he went with one of them. No, I'm kidding you. But he is a fun guy. So so these titles of your books, they're very, I would want to read them just because of how you title them. How do you come up with those? Are they just based on blurbs from the books themselves? Or, again, go back to the OCD thing. That intrigues me. Is that something, do you have OCD? I know a lot of people that have OCD. Well, I have a little bit of OCD. So my wife would say a lot.
First book, that one Adam Sandler almost did. It got optioned for a movie.
It did. Okay.
I had severe OCD. And what I did, I mentioned this in the new book.
Okay.
I had a fear of germs for many OCD problems.
Germs?
I started living with homeless people, face your fear.
Right.
Hygiene, right?
Right. It's like research. Right.
No, if you keep talking to them, you shake their hand and you're like nervous, eventually the anxiety will go away if you keep doing it.
Sure. Right.
Desensitize yourself.
That's right. Okay.
Here's the wacky part.
What's the wacky part?
I had a irrational fear of drugs.
Drunks?
Drugs.
Oh, drugs. Drugs. Okay.
So the only way I could get rid of that, I started hanging around with drug dealers, pretending to be a drug addict.
Okay. So
I kept talking about drugs like nonstop.
Okay.
And one of the drug dealers finally said to me, his name was Squiggles. He's right.
Wiggles?
Squiggles.
Wiggles. Now, this is another character in your book. Squiggles.
It's a true story.
Okay.
And he says to me, Jim, you talk about drugs all the time, but we've never seen you do drugs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, narc,
Here it comes.
So,
right. So
now
what
I got drug dealers after me, and I'm just a guy with OCD trying to get rid of it, So, there you go.
Is that how you explained it to him? Because you say, hey,
I didn't explain it to him. I knew that wouldn't work. I just disappeared. They start chasing you. Anyway,
they started chasing.
That's the one Sandler almost did the movie version, but
okay.
To be honest, you know how they option your book and then they change it so much,
Oh, I know. That is true. People that don't know, that is true. And it's kind of a shame because a lot of times, the end result isn't even anything like you started with.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't politically correct. So I knew they'd have to make a lot of changes.
It wasn't politically incorrect. Well, I would have liked it.
Well, you would have.
Yeah, I say the more politically incorrect, the better. That's what I say. So
well, me and Larry Hankin, Larry's a big liberal. Far left.
Is he? Okay.
California,
Sure, yeah.
So whenever we get into these politics, I say, Larry, we're going to have to agree to disagree because we're not going to change each other's minds about anything.
Right.
But
Well, see, when I interviewed Larry, I wore a MAGA hat. And so
Larry loved that.
No, I didn't. I'm kidding you.
No, that's Larry.
I'm kidding. I didn't do that.
No, I'm independent, so I try to be more common sense. That's my logic,
Okay. Well, I'm independent, so you're independent. That was a joke. Anyway, so you've got all the stuff going on. You're in Louisiana now. What brought you down to Louisiana? That's kind of a remote place.
Well, actually, I moved here when I was about 15. I had no choice with my mother.
Okay.
And then after I got out of high school, I just took off, lived all over Colorado, North Dakota.
Okay. So you grew up in Louisiana?
From 14 to probably 19 or 18 or something like that.
Okay. So are you in your hometown? Is it?
It's a small conservative town, so it's a good place to write because there's not anything to do. It's very
sure.
I'm very disciplined here,
Yeah, I bet. Well, that's good. You need some quiet when you're writing and stuff. It sounds like you've got a lot of material going on just from your background that you could be writing forever. So when you go back out to LA, how often do you go out? Is that just?
I'll be going back in May and spend all summer again.
All summer, okay. Now, where are you at out there? Do you have friends out there that you hang out with?
Well,
Well,
Larry.
you got Mel Brooks. I mean,
I
you
got
just
Larry Hankin, Mel.
Larry stay at his place. Larry's place is a
No,
little
I
messy
sleep in
though.
my car. I like sleeping in my
You
car.
sleep in your car. I forgot. I forgot.
I still like doing that. I know
Well,
it's
when you're
crazy.
sleeping in your car, now how do you go about, I mean, say, how do you take showers and how do you do all
By the
that?
beach, right by the beach. So
You just jump in the ocean.
yeah, they got showers too at the beach in Santa Monica.
Oh, they have showers there, so you can brush your teeth and stuff like
you
that.
can. Yeah, I got it down to a science.
Okay, so it's a whole thing. Yeah. What? Yeah.
But I get good ideas when I'm in my car at night, thinking about writing or whatever.
Right. So, okay. So you're in your car. I mean, would you just have a laptop or something like that? Or how do you do that?
I have a laptop, but no, I'm just thinking. And then when I write it down the next day.
Okay. That's all right. Great. So, I mean, when you're the next trip, I mean, are you going to be obviously selling your book right now? I mean, the new book, are those actually out or are you just getting
it's out now. You can go to Amazon for about $10 and get it.
Okay. Well, that's what we want to do. I want to let you, we're going to make sure you get the plugs in as much as possible. So if you go to Amazon, we'll put the links up here too and put them on the screen for those watching, and those that are listening, they'll be in the descriptions, but you can go and say it one more time very clearly for me. Go ahead.
Remember this little butterfly too. People see the butterfly in the jar.
Oh, it's got a butterfly on it and it's in a jar. The Diary of a Manic OCD Bookseller by James Bailey. I'm going to, seriously, I'm not just blowing smoke. I want to get that book today. I want to read because I know.
I don't know because I checked the Amazon rankings.
Well, and I'm
going to write it. I'll know.
I'm going to, what I'm going to say, James, I'm going to read before I even read the book. I'm going to write a review and it's going to say this reads like somebody wrote it while living in a car, Well,
if they read the book, I'm not. I'm in the car. I tell it. I don't hide anything.
No,
Mel Brooks wrote a great blurb, and so did Larry Hankin on the back. See?
Okay, so they both did. Okay, great. Now, you think by any chance, I mean, you said Mel's getting up there in age, but you think Mel's maybe he'll take a gander at the book and read a little bit closer and say, hey, this is going to be a Mel Brooks movie. What do you think?
Well, he read the book already. That's why he wrote the blurb.
Okay. Oh, that makes good sense. Yeah. A lot of times I write blurbs without reading the book. So.
Well, that's nice.
No, I'm kidding you. I don't do that either. Well, okay. So, but you don't think you see any chances that this might turn into
95 and he barely gets, to be honest, 95, he barely gets out of his house. He's working out of his house now. So that's not going to happen.
Okay. Well, tell him hi for me.
I will.
I'll tell him I'm the guy that, tries to sneak into Fox Studio all the time.
Well, here's a good Mel story.
All right.
Mel said to me, Jim, don't you ever get tired of using my freaking name? Because I use his name so much.
Yeah.
Because I said,
why not? Yeah.
I said, no, of course. He said, well, you can't help it. You got OCD.
You got OCD.
So that's Mel Brooks. He's a great guy.
I bet. That's awesome. That'd be fun to hang out. Fun friend to hang out with, I bet. Well, you're fun. I want you to be my friend. You laugh and you're a good time. So, I mean, hey, if you ever need a friend and you need somebody to help push your car in Malibu, just, send me, I'll give you my cell phone. I'll come.
Where are you living at now?
Well, I am actually dodging bullets in St. Louis right now, the murder capital of the United States. You know why? Because I just wanted to see if I was bulletproof, and so far I am. But no, I mean, I like you. I get out to LA, regularly, so I'm hoping to get back out there in May myself. And if I am out there when you're there, I'll certainly look you up. And I'll bang on your windshield, and say, "Hey, it's me, Todd."
Well, I actually had to have. Well, anyway, I don't want to tell every story from my book, but there's a story about that too.
Really? About being in your car, somebody banging on your windshield?
Well, they weren't very nice people. Anyway, I don't want to tell you too much. I've given away.
Okay, we don't want to give away the whole book,
I'm still alive, so it worked.
You're still alive. I've got a story about that too. Maybe we'll swap stories, like in your car someday, and I'll tell you my story. So that'll be good. Sound good?
All right, Todd.
All right, it's been a blast having you on the
email too, so keep in touch.
Oh, I will. We'll put that up, and any way we can get people in touch with you, or rather.
Let me give my email because you don't have a lot of wackos, do you? That watch.
We do have a lot of wackos. That's kind of it's kind of like mandatory if you're going to watch a show. No, actually, everybody all my viewers are pretty sane.
So what do you do? You is this live or you?
No, this is taped. This is taped. That way, in case I, want to put in some B-roll or some, things like that. I do that, and I have the studio band and all that too.
Oh,
No, I don't. No.
Well, you might in the future. Think big, my friend.
Think big, my friend. That's what that's why I'm sneaking into Fox Studios. No.
Well,
you've
see,
been a
Mel
great.
would like you. You got
Well,
that.
of course he would. I try. Well, I'll do my best. I mean, well, you've been great. I really appreciate you coming on the show. We'll tell everybody on the screen again how to get a hold of your book, as well as in the descriptions. And I tell you, and I'm not kidding you. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to get it today.
As soon as you get off this show, you're going to get it, right?
I'm going to go right to Amazon and I'm going to get it. And I'm going to read the book. And I'm going to email you and I'm going to say, hey, I want to put a new blurb on your for the next edition. Put a blurb on your back cover.
I appreciate it. And you also you can write me a blurb on Amazon, on the reviews.
I will, and I'm going to sign it, Mel.
You can't help yourself, can you?
No,
Are you okay?
I'm not okay. I'm not okay. That's why I'm having you on the show, James.
Well, let me give my email in case anybody's interested in the movie version of Lone Wolf.
Okay.
Out there. James Michael Bailey at yahoo.com.
James Michael Bailey at yahoo.com.
Or they want to give me some feedback, whatever.
We'll put that up there too. And did you want to give out your cell phone number, your social security number, or anything like that?
I know. I've
credit cards.
I've had some, meeting all the people that I give out cards to. I've met. Well, you have time for another?
Absolutely.
Thing?
I have time. Sure. It's my show.
Okay, so I'm doing the thing at the beach, giving out cards. That's my new other thing I do.
Okay.
Not just walk down the beach, give card after card. And one day I give out a card and, I don't pay any attention unless they're real friendly and say, what's the book about,
Right.
And actually one girl didn't believe me. She said, well, you're not James Bailey, author, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, go to Google, put James Bailey, actor and author. And they showed my picture and all kinds of Wikipedia. So she bought the book right there on the spot. She felt so guilty.
Yeah.
So anyway, getting back to my story. So I'm handing out cards and I get back home that night and I got an email from this girl. She says, well, I'm Sarah Hay. I just started a show on Stars called Flesh and Bones. She was a ballet dancer and actress, whatever. Okay. She says, I want to be part of your book or movie or whatever. So you never know who you're going to meet doing that kind of
no. Yeah.
One-on-one or whatever.
Well, do you have, what about the bearded lesbian? Is there like a part in there for her?
Yeah, when you read the book, then
we'll know. I don't want to give away all the secrets. Well, I'm pretty sure still, I'm kind of thinking it was really Pierce Brosnan, but
no. But you know what? The bearded lesbian liked me, and I said in the book,
why wouldn't she?
Nobody likes me, but she likes me. So what the hell? I got to be friends with her.
I don't see how anybody couldn't like you, James.
Well, you know what I mean.
You're a fun guy,
pushy and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I know.
You got to be to sell.
She had a beard. She's probably.
Well, I didn't know it was I thought. I'll tell you anyway. Since you get this sense of humor, I thought it was a man with a beard. So we're talking, and I'm tired from plugging my book, and I'm just going to sit there and relax. And she keeps saying, I said, I was friendly to her, and she kept saying, Jim, should I go back to Fresno? I said, I don't know. She said that about 100 times. She couldn't help herself,
Right.
I said, yeah, go back to Fresno. Why, Jim? Said I.
Why?
Yeah, I thought, here we go again.
Right.
She says to me, this is in the book. She said, Jim, do you ever think I'll find a companion?
Uh-huh.
And she said that about 50 times. She might have had OCD.
I was going to say, it sounds like OCD. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So I had some more sympathy for her than most people.
Uh-huh.
So I said, yes. I finally hit my brain that, yes, this is a woman who just hasn't, has a beard.
Right. She has a beard.
So I said, yeah. Sure. So I said to her, yes, there is a man for you somewhere.
Right.
And she just said, you motherfucker.
All right.
I go, oh, yeah. He said, I'm looking for a woman. I'm a lesbian.
She's a on that note.
So I have a lot of humor in my book.
I love it. Even
though I liked her, we became friends. I mean,
you ought to get her and Mel together, and the three of you go have coffee or something like that.
No.
Sneak into a studio.
I'm far out, but she's too far out. Anyway, it's a good story, and I actually helped her in the book somewhere.
Well, you know what? Seriously, I haven't read it, but I'm plugging your book like crazy. I'm going to tell everybody to read this because if it's half as fun as you are, I mean, it's worth buying with sight unseen.
You're my kind of guy, my friend.
Well, thanks so much for joining
right.
me on the show today. I hope you'll come back and see me again.
Yeah, if I get this movie going and all that, we'll do some more of this.
Hit me
stuff.
up. I can play whatever you want. I grew the
There
mullet.
you go.
I grew the mullet back. I could be the mullet guy and the bearded lesbian. What do you think?
That David Spade already got that thing going, so you're
there. You go. There you go. James, thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Have a good day.
Thank you. And thank you for joining me. If you've been watching or listening, this has been Right Minded. I'm Todd Schowalter. And remember, if you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. Till next time. Bye-bye.
This has been the Right Mind Podcast with Todd Schowalter.